Thokozani, Lesedi Lechanya, Tamagu, Kwaziwai. How is everybody doing today? Jambo for people from Kenya, Kedu, Kilode for my people in Nigeria, Muribwanji from my people in Zambia. How is everybody doing? Hello, Marvena. Thanks for coming on. Say hi in the comments. Let's boost this. Let's share this. I'm going to be very quick because, once again, excuse me, Spirit has actually dictated what I'm teaching on today because, it seems there are a lot of questions around sex, sexuality, and spirituality. Oh, God, guys. Oh, excuse me. Lidlos. It's Spirit. Hi, Cindy. How are you, my sweetheart? So, guys, I'm coming on to talk about sex and sexuality and how this can affect your spirituality. Now, here is something that a lot of people don't actually take seriously, and it's this fact. The fact is, every sexual encounter that you have affects your energy. It affects your aura. And you say, every sexual encounter? Yes. It doesn't matter whether you're using condoms. It doesn't matter whether you're not using condoms. But every sexual encounter that you have affects your energy. Now, what do I mean by that? This is you in your purest energetic state, correct? This is you when your energy is degraded. And sexual encounters lead to this degradation of your aura. And the more sexual partners you have, the more other people's energies are attached to you. Some people call it sexual ties. Some people will call it soul ties. I prefer to call it sexual ties for now, because a soul tie is something that is a lot more deeper than just a casual sexual encounter. Your soul is not linked to people you have casual sex with. I'll do another live where I'll talk about soul ties. Now, what is the problem with this? The problem when you have this going on is, once again, you need to cleanse. And we are in a new moon. So yesterday was the, not new moon, but the full moon. Yesterday was the full moon in Pisces. The full moon in Pisces, the Gogos were saying to me yesterday, is a time of cleansing. And in many places where there's a full moon right now, there's actually a lot of rain. There's a lot of rain where I am. There's a lot of rain in different parts of the world because of this full moon. And cleansing is the theme for this full moon. So I was just in my own meditations, and the Gogos were saying, you need to teach on cleansing. You need to teach on why people need to cleanse and cleanse regularly. Oh, excuse me. So here's the deal, guys. Anytime you sleep with somebody, you get their energy attached to your energetic body. And it doesn't go to this immediately. But the more sexual partners you have, the more you have their energy attached to your energetic body. This is very important, guys, to keep in mind. Can you guys hear me okay? Please give me some love hearts if you are hearing me okay. I just want to make sure that I'm not gonna speak and people don't hear me. Can you guys hear me? Please let me know. Okay, I see a love heart. I see love hearts. That means people are hearing me. Thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you guys, particularly because I didn't announce. But then sometimes that's how Spirit works. You know, I get told you're doing this and you're doing it now. Guys, it is important after every relationship to cleanse. I don't care if it's a 24-hour relationship. It doesn't matter if it was a 22-minute relationship. You need to cleanse, because if you don't cleanse, you are compromising your aura. Okay? What's the matter if I compromise my aura? Well, listen, if you compromise your aura, your ancestors, your spirit guides go, ew, right? They don't get close to you because your natural ID has got someone else's imprint on it. And therefore, these spirits cannot get to you. Not only that, you vibrate lower than they do. And so your communication with them is compromised. And I get this a lot. Gogo, I'm not hearing my ancestors. Gogo, I'm not hearing this. The first thing I always say is cleanse. When was the last time you had a cleanse? Now, I want to talk in more detail about the kinds of cleanses that we have, right? There is the basic cleanse where every 3 months you really ought to be having a cleanse. This is using cleansing herbs. This is also making sure that you are intentionally cleansing. There are other cleanses, like the cleanses of sexual energy or the cleanses of having a lost child, either via miscarriage or via abortion. That child's energy is on you and really compromises your vibrational level. And those are special kind of cleanses. There are different ways of doing them. What I want to emphasize though today is the sexual cleanse becomes very important because think about it this way. If I have been sleeping with someone who hasn't cleansed for years, do you know what that means? It means all the sexual energetic attachments that they have on their aura automatically are transferred to me when they come and sleep with me. Think about it for a minute. So you can go to being a high vibrational person and you will sleep with that one person who may have 20 or 30 different sexual energies attached to their aura, and you will go from this to that just like that. Suddenly you're saying, I slept with such person. Everything seems stagnant. Everything is blocked. I don't hear my ancestors anymore. It's like they've turned their backs on me. My money situation suddenly went from being abundant to plummeting. People that I move around with don't seem to like me anymore. People treat me like I smell, like they don't want to be in my company. People are getting irritable when I'm around them and they are avoiding me. Why? Because that one person brought you all these different sexual energies attached to you, and you went from this person who's highly attractive, not only attractive to other people, but who's highly attractive to abundance, whose ancestors appear in dreams, appear in visions. You went from this to that. And so having other people's sexual energy attached to you affects multiple things in your life, all of which depend on you having a somewhat pure energetic state. So what do you start thinking? You start thinking somebody's hexed you. You start thinking somebody has evil eye on you. You start to think somebody worked a spell against you. When in actual fact, nobody did any of those things. You just slept with somebody who was energetically very dirty and you made yourself dirty. What is the thing that they say? If you hang around pigs that wallow in mud, you will get dirty and you will become a pig by association. So I want you guys to really think about, be intentional when you are having sex with somebody. I'm not here to dictate people's morality. It's got nothing to do with morality. I'm just speaking facts, right? If you decide that you're going to be bed hopping and having multiple partners, cleanse. Make sure that you are cleansing regularly. The other thing that can happen is, say for example, I have had multiple abortions but have never cleansed, and I've never done child recognition for these spirits, right? My energetic state is somewhere here. And then I meet an amazing guy, and this guy is amazing because what tends to happen is you, because of your low energetic state, will be attracted to people with a higher energetic state because the lack in you seeks the lack in them. In other words, you're an energetic vampire. So there we go with, nice dude, and boom. Guess what happens to you, nice guy? You go from being this pure nice guy to that. Then all of a sudden, things start falling apart. You're fighting with people in ways you don't understand. Your best friends don't want to know anything about you. If I was a casual encounter, now you're meeting women who literally look you up and down and go, cease, and walk away. It is because, maybe you were somebody who is somebody who likes to commune with their ancestors. Guess what? Suddenly your dreams, you don't remember them. Worse still, guys, I want you to listen to this one very carefully. Say, for example, I meet guy so-and-so. I like him. We're going to get it on. But guy so-and-so happens to have a spiritual attachment to them. What does that mean? Guy so-and-so has a spiritual attachment, i.e. he has a spirit that is attached to him. Who knows where he picked it up from? And guy is with me, and this spiritual attachment says, nice clean person over here, vibrating very high. Remember, a lot of these spirits are energetic vampires. I am vibrating high up here. I'm in bed with such and such guy, and I have this amazing aura and energy. What will the spiritual attachment do? It will jump from guy onto me. Now, guess what I've got for myself? A spiritual attachment. It may be a spiritual attachment that likes sex. Guess what I have on me? I have now acquired, unknowingly, a spiritual partner, a spiritual husband, a spiritual spouse. Now, I'm not saying that spiritual husbands, spiritual wives are attracted or come to you because you're sexually promiscuous, but you are at greater risk of having such a spirit attached to you when you are with somebody who has one already. These kind of cleanses, guys, require some heavy lifting. Those kind of cleanses require an animal. Listen, spiritual spouses are extremely difficult to get rid of. They are so difficult to get rid of that sometimes it takes years and years for you to get rid of it. Getting rid of a spiritual spouse goes beyond just the cleanse with the animal. You now have to maintain yourself in a very high vibrating energetic state, because that spiritual spouse that has been forced off of you might linger around for you to go back to your old ways, where you end up vibrating like this so that it can reattach itself. I hope you guys are hearing me. Why should we care about these things? Well, like I said, they're energy vampires. And some of the consequences of having a spiritual spouse are very similar to having someone's sexual energy on you, only it is more severe because now it is chronic. Somebody's sexual energy, you can go, you can do a spiritual cleanse using herbs, preferably in a river. And preferably under the supervision of a sangoma or a spiritual healer. And then after you've cleansed that, you go on to a maintenance program where you are cleansing periodically, probably once a week, you are doing some type of deep cleanse. What does a deep cleanse involve? It involves purging, right? With mutis, medicines, herbs. What is purging? You drink, you fill your tummy, it comes out. Because what you're trying to do when you do those kind of cleanses is, remember, you're trying to keep your chakras rotating. You're trying to keep your chakras unblocked, because this energetic state really comes from your chakras being aligned. Now, some people said to me last time, somebody said, what are chakras? And I will show you what chakras. I think I did a live explaining in detail. These are energetic points within your body that determine, excuse me guys, that determine your aura, right? And there are 7 major chakras. There are more, but for this purpose, we're going to deal with the 7 chakras that are to do with your physical body, right? That's why you purge. Another way of cleansing, so you have to purge. You have to do, it's like an enema, basically. You take mutis that'll make you go, and that will cleanse your root chakra, right? This purging cleanses your solar plexus and your sacral chakra, right? Then you have to steam with, again, herbs and mutis. You're steaming because you're trying to get rid of anything that is in and on your body that is blocking your chakras, right? So when you're steaming, the chakra that is associated with a good steam is your heart chakra, right? So your heart chakra has to go. So there are different chakras here, the 7 chakras. I'll put up a picture of the chakras for people who are not fully understanding this. Mark, you can't be in my video. I'm sorry. This is a teaching video. I'm not here to have a conversation, Togos. So, guys, you need to understand how your spirituality, how your physical state of being, how you move in the world affects everything about you. It will affect your money. It will affect your sexual health. It will affect your physical health, because again, some of these spiritual attachments will make you sick. How? If you have a spiritual attachment on you, you're basically here. When you are here, guess what happens? You are prone to physical diseases. Now, when we do consultations, unlike your doctors who will say, oh my goodness, you're suffering from fibromyalgia, or oh my goodness, you're suffering from this kind of illness. What we do as healers, we want to go, spiritual healers go to the actual cause of your problem. And we will do a consultation and find that you have a spiritual attachment on you, and we need to cleanse that. I know a lot of people who've had spiritual cleanses, deep cleanses, at the river, who have come away feeling physically better. Because we go to the root cause. Whereas a doctor, a Western doctor, will put you on multiple pills to deal with the symptoms of what you have, but not to go to the root cause. So you're treating the symptoms of having a spiritual husband, which might be headaches upon headaches. They'll give you migraine medication, right? It'll go away as long as you have the medication in your body. As soon as you're off the medication, what happens? You've got the headache. We go to the root cause. What is it that is causing you to be sick? I want you to understand this is very important. Your sexual hygiene affects your spiritual hygiene. So, some things to think about. Another thing I wanted to talk about in this particular live, guys, is the issue of pornography. Right. You know, I've talked about opportunistic spirits. We have spirits everywhere. As I'm talking to you right now, there are spirits around here. Right? There are opportunistic spirits that are low vibrational, meaning these spirits are not of the light. These spirits are spirits that are just kind of roaming around, searching for whom to devour. Say you like porn, right? You're going to sit, guys. Can you hear me still? Just say if you hear me, if I'm stuck, am I frozen? Please give me love hearts if you can still hear me. Somebody tried to call me and that may have interfered. Okay, excellent. You guys can still hear me. Tawazan. So say here you are. You love porn, right? Oy. But you become obsessed with porn, and guess what? You have spirits around you that see that you are into this kind of thing. Guess what? You can acquire yourself a spiritual spouse or spiritual husband because your weakness is sex. Remember what I've said before is that any spiritual attachments that come towards you come through your biggest weakness. There might be a spirit around that loves money, and you are greedy and you'll do anything for money. You may get a spiritual attachment that will drive you to do worse and worse things to acquire money. They come and they attach to you and stay with you. And you're busy thinking, oh, you know what? I committed such a criminal act to get money. Meanwhile, there was somebody whispering in your ear, we gotta get that money. We gotta get that money, right? It's the same thing with sex and these spiritual husbands. So by attaching to you, they know that they will get their fix because every night you're going to be sitting there for 2 or 3 hours jerking off to porn. What's going to happen is this creature won't go away from you. What's going to happen is this creature will resist any kind of cleanse because, well, you will cleanse, but you're going to go back to doing the same thing. And all that creature needs to do is to wait around, and then it'll attach itself. The problem with spiritual spouses is that, seriously, these are spirits that are looking for something human that they cannot get for themselves. They cannot attach to people who are vibrating high. They cannot. But they can definitely attach to people who are vibrating low and whose habits, whose daily habits, allow them to do so. So, once again, watch how you go, particularly in the sexual space. Sex is a very, very powerful thing. Why? Because it is a creative force. Human beings are created through sex. It is a powerful, radiant energy that if you, and people who have been celibate will tell you this, because what people who are celibate do is that they recycle their sexual energy and they transmute that energy into something else. Highly creative people generally are not sleeping around because they know how to channel their sexual desires and their sexual energy, recycle it into something else, use that energy to create something else. There's an author called Audre Lorde who talks about it in a long essay she wrote about erotic energy and the fact that sexual energy and you being sexually aroused does not mean that you have to go and have sex. You can transmute and use that energy to create beautiful things in your life. Now, I'm not here to deny you sex, okay? Do your do. But just know and be aware of the consequences of certain behaviors. The other thing you have to understand about sexual energy is this. If you are in a relationship that is committed, say you're in a marriage, or you're in an intimate partnership, but it is a committed partnership. If one of you cheats, there is a thing called ischito, which can happen. It can happen, doesn't necessarily mean because the person that your partner cheated with had some muti or not. Yeah, a lot of people do. Again, got to be careful. People are doing the most out there. The person that your partner cheats with may have decided that this is the man I want, this is the man I'm going to get, or this is the woman I want. And they may use some kind of herb or spell that will cause ukuchitheka, which means the breaking up or the spilling up of your relationship. So now when your partner comes to your marriage bed, they are not only bringing that person's sexual energy, but they're also bringing something very potent that is designed to break you up. So your partner may have had no intention of breaking up. Your partner may have just thought, you know what, I'll get a little piece on the side. And that little piece on the side will result in a breakup because it is the person who they were with had done some spell to ensure that your relationship breaks out. Now, I want to tell you some of the signs and symptoms of iscito, this spilling over. And these are very real. Sometimes partners will find bed bugs. Sometimes they will find maggots. Sometimes the partner who is innocent in all this will suddenly have breakouts that look like acne. And they'll go to dermatologists, they'll go on antibiotics, they'll go on all sorts of things. This acne won't go. It's because of iscito. Sometimes as a couple, if you were saving together, if you're doing things together, your stuff starts falling apart in a dismal way. You will start fighting with your partner in ways that you don't even understand. Like, why are we fighting? We are constantly fighting. Yes, you are. Because what was given to your partner through sex was designed to break you guys up. Because somebody wants him. There is also another type of iscito that can happen. So if you say you're with somebody who's spiritually gifted or not, and you go out and you cheat on them. If you're with somebody whose ancestors are very protective of their child, they will cause iscito, meaning they will try to give signs to their child that their partner has stepped out of the union. How do they do this? Similar things, maggots, lice. Sometimes you just find ants all over the place. Just things that are so weird start happening in your life, and they start happening suddenly. I always ask my clients when we're doing consultation, somebody will say, we went from being best friends one day and the next day, my husband doesn't even look at me. He looks at me in disgust. Really? Iscito. Not because you've done anything, but because he's gone and done something and brought this third person into your bed. Because literally when you carry somebody's sexual energy, you may as well have brought them into your bed. And you did this without the consent of your partner. That will result in iscito. Your partner's ancestors may be like, we don't want you here anymore. And they start causing all kinds of havoc so that you break up. Because you mistreated their child. You were deceitful and dishonest. So I want to talk to guys and girls who are into the polyamory, people who are into, the polygamy. How are you doing your things? Because if things are not done in the proper manner, in which your partner has full knowledge and consents fully to what you are doing, it will not end well. Take it from me. I've lived a lot of years. It never ends well. Because in the spiritual realm, things start happening. In the spiritual realm, you start looking like this. And that's it. So I hope I've taught you guys a few things. I hope you guys get something. If you guys enjoyed this, please share it out to your friends. If you happen to have promiscuous friends, share it out to your friends. For my commercial sex workers, listen, baby, if you got to make that money, but cleanse. Those who are in commercial sex work, those who work in strip clubs where you've got all kinds of hands on you, listen, cleanse and cleanse deeply and regularly. Then you can carry on with your work. For those who are in relationships, just remember that anything you do without your partner's consent, anything you do without your partner's consent will ultimately lead to the breakup of that relationship. Right? Remember also, for every partner you sleep with, you don't know their sexual history, 1. You don't know how many partners they've been with, 2. You don't know if they've cleansed. Let's be adult about this. If you're sleeping around, you're sleeping with somebody, oi, woof, Togozan, go and cleanse. Go and cleanse. Keep yourself cleansed. Keep your home cleansed. Stop bringing all kinds of people into your living space. You don't know what they're going to leave behind for you. Nyanitanda, I love you guys so much. Togozani, thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye.